Anyway, welcome again. This is 2021 Club Secretary Training, Part 1. And so Part 2 will be next Saturday, also from 10 to 12. And if you can't attend, we will be recording both of them. Okay. All right. I'd already mentioned to you the introduction, so this is my information. In the coming Rotary year, I will be the District 5150 Secretary. Currently, I am the Club Secretary for the Rotary Club of San Francisco. I'm finishing out that term. And I've been the co-district secretary this year, along with my husband, sharing the job with him. He is not going to continue. He has other roles, but I will continue next year. All right, today's agenda. I'm going to go through some of the club secretary basics, things that I think that overall many secretaries would be doing for your clubs. Okay, but again, with a grain of salt, some of you might not. I'm going to demonstrate how to log into MyRotaryorg and some of the pitfalls that usually accompany that. That has been a stumbling block for many. Okay, probably not anybody in this audience that I can tell. So Tice told me that there's no technical problem in his club at all. That's wonderful, but Gary and I and District Governor Mary have encountered many people who have had this as their stumbling block. And so I want to just share with you some of the ways that we can help them, whoever they might be, get the in. I'm going to go visit the Learning Center. I'm going to tell you what's there. So that's one of the frequent issues that I've heard from many at this point, where they can't get into the Learning Center, they can't complete the course, or they completed it. They swear they completed it, but there's no proof that they did. So we're going to go through that. And I'm going to show you there's lots of stuff there, wonderful information. If you have time, you can go through and browse through that. I'm going to spend quite a bit of time on club administration, showing you how to add members, delete members. We're only looking at it from the My Rotary side at this point. Okay, those of you who use Club Runner, that's where you go to manage that. But I want to show you on this end what it looks like as well. And also, if a member moves from one club to another club, how to find that person, how to find that person's Rotary ID, how to add officers, so there's lots of stuff. Also in club administration, updating information for your Rotaract clubs, your Interact clubs. Okay, I'm also going to show you that there's some forms there that you might not be aware of. So just yesterday, somebody asked me about insurance, and which is not there, but there are places where you can find that information. I'm going to take you to Rotary Club Central. Okay, so I get frequent calls from presidents-elect. I can't get into my Rotary. I don't know where to go put my goals. I don't know what those are. I bet in this audience, there's supposed to be some assistant governors. So if they have struggled with the president-elect, they usually send them to me. And so I want to show you where that is. I want to talk about the Rotary citation, which we can still apply for this year. And so if your club's applying for Rotary citation, where that information might be. Okay. And then I want everybody to get on their device and minimize your Zoom window and log in and go visit these places and ask me questions, share your screen when you're asking me questions, because again, your screen is different from mine. Okay. And in all learning, if we don't get behind the wheel, we will not learn. So this is not a course where you just sit, no, yes, Dora told me all about that. I heard it, but I never did it. Okay, so if you never baked a cookie, you will, reading the recipe, watching somebody else bake that cookie is not the same as the one you made. Okay, that's the one that counts. All right, that's the agenda for today. And I'd also like to add that I don't plan to have a full 2 hours of me talking. I'd like to engage you in discussion. I did see 6 chats, maybe there are questions already. And I, if we get past an hour or so, I will give a brief break just to let you know. Okay, but if we seem to be moving along and getting toward the end, I probably um, well well we'll get there. We'll worry about that when we get there. All right. So I'm going to start out with what is a Rotary Club secretary. So I'm going to go through the basics first. Okay. So a Rotary Club secretary is the communicator. Okay. And I take this as a very important role here in this job because you will probably be the person that many of your members will come to. One, you have more time than the president. And anybody who wants to speak to the president knows that they should go through you to get there, or likely that you know the answer. So, but you are the person who is knowledgeable. So you will be attending meetings and you will be meeting with the board. And so you know what is happening. Okay. You are going to communicate with the members, with the club officers, with the district leadership, with Rotary International, okay, with the public, okay. So all of these roles, okay. So you are out there, and you can work hand in hand with other members of your club, depending on the size. But in our club, we have a PR team who communicates mostly with the public, okay. But they get their information from you, and our members come to me all the time saying, Dora, what do you know? What can I do? When's our next meeting? Things like that. The officers will come to you. So my president comes to me all the time. Dora, what's on the agenda? Okay. What's next? And then district leadership and Rotary International, we'll talk about why you would communicate with them, but mostly it's membership data with Rotary International, okay, and the invoices. And you'll find that when you become club secretary, okay, Rotary International will send you all the information just like they would send it to the president and the treasurer. And I think the other role is the TRF chair. Those are the 4 roles that RI recognizes as the communication team for each club. The district, I don't know, every district governor has been slightly different. And we've also been through a whole year of a pandemic. So I would imagine Danielle will have her own style of communicating from top down, and she will probably come to the club secretary. So I know District Governor Mary would come to me, or Gary as chief of staff would come to me sometimes because they didn't get a response from my president. So that's where the communication is. Any questions on that? Okay, Tice, do you have any questions that have come up in the chat? I see that popping up.
No, mainly people introducing themselves, and I was just getting people to correct their screen name, so we, in the recorded version.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Nothing.
Rather than their child or whatever name.
I see. Okay. All right. All right. So communication is often a two-way exchange. Okay. So it also means that I sometimes have to make announcements. So In our club, I'm also the editor of our newsletter. So if there's information that I think the whole club should know, I will write something in there. Um, we also participate in social media. And so I would send the information to our social media team and have them send it out to our members or to the public. Okay. So it's not just people coming to you, but you being knowledgeable and spreading the information. Okay. You are also the club administrator. Okay. Believe it or not, you are the glue that holds the club together in managing everybody's, knowing a little bit about everybody's roles, and so that you can, pass people through to these other roles, to these other people to help them with their issues. All right, let's move along here. Okay, so the first thing is to learn the job. Okay, so I know I have in this audience some people who are going to be club secretaries for the very first time. Okay, and so there is training. So this is one of them. Okay, the district learning opportunities. Okay, last year, David and I did one club secretary training. We recorded it. And then a month later, that recording became obsolete because the district changed its website, and so did Rotary International. So I'm a little more cautious this time around. I'm also hopeful that because there were so many big changes last year, that there will be fewer changes this year. But nevertheless, I'm open to the idea. I will be more actively engaged throughout the year in offering little mini trainings, if that's okay with District Governor-elect Danielle and District Governor-elect nominee Gary, in participating in events and saying we're going to have such an opportunity for you to work on something. So if there's something that you think of that we should work on, I'm open to it. But I think learning is an ongoing process. It's not just this one day for 2 hours. Okay. I'm also going to take you to my.rotary.org/learn. And so there are lots of courses there, and how to get the certificate for that. Okay. All right. First steps. Okay. Just last week, I had a meeting with my incoming club secretary. Okay. And I think that every club should have that transition moment where you are going to not necessarily get the paperwork right now because it's still June, but at least give them an overview of what they're going to do and invite them to participate now actively so they can shadow you. Okay. All right. It's also a good idea to be at your the last board meeting of this Rotary year, where we traditionally have the incoming club officers and the outgoing club officers all in the same place, planning and thinking about the year. So our incoming officers just held their retreat to sort of plan out the year. Okay. And they will most likely join us at our last board meeting where we're going to pass the baton. But all along, every person who replaces you should have been working with the person who is leaving and planning ahead so that there is a smooth transition. I'm going to share with you a calendar of what my typical year has been like. So I've been club secretary for 2 years, but I've been a Rotarian since 2016. And I've been involved in different parts of the club. And so this is how we have been operating, but it may vary a little bit for you. Okay. So in June, you prepare for your job. You, just as I mentioned before, you meet with the outgoing parties and learn the job, find out what they're doing, ask questions, maybe even start doing some of it. Okay. On July 1st, you start your Rotary year. Okay, all of us will. Okay, in your new role. And then we fast forward. I would say that August, September, October, we're learning our jobs, we're getting used to one another, and so on. Okay. But in November, we start thinking about who's going to be in charge next year. Okay. Am I going to stay on? Okay. If not, I need to plan for that. Okay. Traditionally, at our club in December, we elect new officers and board members. Okay. Um, uh, we, it varies by club, but in our club, the president's role is 1 year and all the other board members are 2 year jobs. And so every year we have this staggering of some will leave and some will stay. So we have some continuity in that those who stay will have their second year and be more experienced, and those who are new will learn the ropes and then stay past for another year. Um, in December, at the end of December, RI is going to calculate how many members you will have in your club. And then in January, there will be that wonderful big invoice that will come from them. And so to make sure that our membership data is correct, we need to do some reconciliation. So our club does use Club Runner and we do reconcile. If you don't use Club Runner, you need to go into the RI and just make sure information is correct and so on, so that the invoice is generated, because RI clearly says that whatever's on there, they're going to bill you and they're not going to take any argument. Oh, I'm sorry, this person's not a member. Okay. I've never gone back to say otherwise, so I don't know what they would do to you if you went and did complain about that, but they clearly did say that they're not entertaining any discussion. You will pay for those people. And that's another thing. If you have people who are no longer in your club, they're no longer coming, okay, why should you pay for their membership dues? We do that again in June, so I'm going to do that pretty soon for our club because we will have the final count for the start of the Rotary year. Okay. All right, going on in the calendar. In January, I do update the club leadership. There is a place in both MyRotaryorg and in Club Runner. I usually just do it in Club Runner because in Club Runner, I can sync the information and RI will know who the next president for our club will be, who the next secretary will be, who the next treasurer will be. Okay. It's also, even if you don't have all those roles yet, okay, I think it's nice to put that out there because once you see the blanks, it gives your club to focus. We don't have this, we don't have that. So it's a nice planning tool. All right, getting all these Zoom pop-ups, okay. All right, in March, traditionally, we have a district assembly. I can't imagine that this would be different this year, okay, coming Rotary year. So sometime in March or whatever, could be later, could be earlier, okay, depending on what's planned. Sorry, all these Zoom things are interfering with my screen here. Okay, in April, we can start having a conversation with the incoming secretary. Okay, so if you have any documents that you think that might be useful for that person to take on next year, you can start sharing that. So this year I shared with my incoming secretary the club awards, not that the criteria will necessarily be the same, but the process will be. And so that she knows that that is going to be one of her jobs and can look at that. Okay. And then we're back to June, the transition. Are there any questions, any discussion on this? Anything you'd like to share? Okay. Okay. Has everybody's coffee kicked in? All right, let's move on. Okay. I'm still covering club secretary basics. So some of the key duties. Okay. I can guess maintaining club records is one of the huge ones. Okay. Um, so whether you maintain them, I can't imagine anybody doing physical paper copies anymore, but if you are, that would be what you're doing. I think that most of us are managing electronic records these days, so having some sort of system. Um, it's becoming more and more important that we sort of keep good records so that we don't reinvent the wheel every year, and that we have some place to go back and look at what did they do and what can we do. Okay. Uh, all right. Uh, Different clubs. So in my club, the president sets the agenda for our meetings. Okay, but last year, as president, used to come to me and say, Dora, what should be on the agenda? So different presidents might have different roles here. Okay, it could be a collaborative effort. Okay, to put together an agenda item. So people will come to you and ask. Members will come to you and say, we want something on the agenda. And so you will put it on the agenda, and whether it goes first, second, or third, that will be up to whatever else is on your list here. But it will be one of your jobs there. Okay. Of course, you will take minutes at the meetings. Okay. You may have to generate some other reports. Okay. Um, Back to minutes. In my club, what we do is I do take minutes, and then I use those minutes to share some, um, I guess, the synopsis with the membership of some of the highlights of our board meetings. Manage club data. Okay. So I'm talking usually about membership data. Okay. And it could also be information like the passwords for the different accounts that your club has elsewhere. Okay, knowing who has what information. So that could be another source of club data. And so just being on top of, not that you are necessarily managing, okay, the social media accounts, but that you know how to access them. Not that you're necessarily managing the membership data. Okay, you could put that role on the membership committee. Okay, but you know a little bit about. Okay, so for example, you should be able to find out how many members you are active in your club and how many have left. Um, report. Okay, these Zoom pop-ups are. Wait a minute. Report data to RI and district. Okay. So reporting that data would be like, for example, we're going to talk about that next time, the reconciliation. Okay. And to the district, sometimes they will ask questions like, uh, how many people have left your club recently? Okay, stuff like that. All right, what else does the secretary do? Other duties. Okay, check the mail. Okay, guess what? We might have to actually go back out there, okay, soon. In fact, we're all already out there, and we're gonna go pick up the mail from a mailbox, okay, instead of email. Okay, check your club email. Okay, you're probably managing your club's email. Okay. Forward the mail. Excuse me. Forward the mail. Okay, respond to mail. Okay, so because I'm club secretary, most of the time I'm happy to just forward the mail to somebody in our club to answer. Okay, because they're usually questions that I'd rather defer to somebody else. But if you know, again, you work that out with your club. If it's appropriate for you to answer it, just go ahead. Respond to calls. The phone will ring. Okay, so people will call. I'd like to join your club. I'd like to be a speaker. I'd like to come to a meeting. Okay, stuff like that. Um, Taking attendance at your meetings. Okay, So next week I will show you where you can record that on Club Runner, or maybe you have another system. Um, that's another aspect of managing club data. Okay. How many members are attending our meetings? How do we engage those who are not? Okay. You can't answer those questions if you're not collecting the data and finding out. So if we don't collect the data, we will not miss. In our club, we have over 100 members. It's easy to say, oh yes, they must have been there. But when we take the actual attendance, we find out, no, this person hasn't come the last 5 times. Okay, maybe we need to pick up the phone and find out if everything's okay. Okay. We are going to be going back, as maybe some of you have already started. We are going back to in-person meetings, and you may be the one there helping to do the member meeting check-in. Okay. Or we actually have a club service team who's going to do that for us. But again, the meeting check-in, the meeting attendance go together. Order stuff. Okay, this is fun. Okay, order pins, order badges, order gifts. Okay, stuff like that. Okay, so you're probably working with your treasurer. Do we have any money for this? And how do we invoice them? And things like that. Okay, other duties as assigned. Okay, so whatever your officers need, that varies by club. All right, more resources. Okay, so learning this job is a lot. Okay, so I would start with your predecessor, okay, who just is finishing the job. Okay, if most clubs would be happy if you could do what that person was doing. Okay, assuming that person was actively engaged. Okay. Any past leaders in your club? Okay, so maybe not the current leaders necessarily, or not the ones who are just leaving. Okay, but maybe those beyond older than that. Okay, they're a little more relaxed and they can take a look at the whole big picture, and they're more willing to share sometimes. The ones who just finish are just glad to be done, and the ones who are just starting, they are starting to learn the job just like you. So probably your past leaders are your best resource, I think. Next week, I'm going to share with you Club Runner information. Okay. And whether you use Club Runner or not, I want to warn you that our district is using Club Runner. And so there are some things that you do need to know there just for that role. Okay. And you're going to find it very useful. And then finally, me. Okay. So I have done this the past year. People call and they need some help. We schedule some Zoom time together, and they share their screen, I share my screen, and we solve the problem. It's a one-on-one. So, and I'm happy to do that going forward. We just need to find a mutual time, and usually we resolve that. All right. Let me see. Okay, let me stop share there for a second. Okay. Let's see. So I've been talking for a while now. Okay. Longer than I thought. But are there any questions? Tice, were there any questions in the chat?
There wasn't any direct questions for you, but LaShonda did ask that she wanted to see a sample of meeting minutes from another club. I presume she's not happy with the format they have and looking for best practices for a more established, well-communicating group. So if anybody is inspired, they think their minute format or their meetings format is worthy of sharing, LaShonda put her email into chat. So go ahead and respond back. That'd be great.
Okay. All right. So if anyone want to share their minutes, so I'm going to write that down, LaShonda. After I'm done with this training, I will send you an example of the club's minutes. Okay. My club's minutes. Any other questions? No? All right. So let's go back here. Okay, so I'm going to tell you what we're going to do next here. Okay. So I'm going to go back here. Okay. I'm going to talk about my.rotary.org. Okay. So I think this past year I've talked to Gary Chow about this frequently. Okay. People coming to him saying they can't get into MyRotaryorg. Okay. And then they end up on my lap. Okay. Again, I think that I can fairly say that present company not included. Most of you are not the ones that have come to me, and most of you have already been there, and maybe more than you'd like. Okay. But realize there's a whole audience out there who cannot get in there. And the problem is the email address. Okay. We now have so many email accounts. Okay. I added 4 or 5 more this year because of the pandemic, in that to do my role in the job, they required me to have this email, this email, this email, this email. So I now have maybe like 10 different email addresses. And then one day you wake up and say, which one did I use? Okay. So my fallback is that whatever email you have used on Club Runner should be the same email that you're using for my.rotary.org. Okay. Now, I've heard that there's some people who are frustrated. They don't know what their email address is on Club Runner, or they don't want to use that one. So they go to my.rotary.org and create a whole new account. Okay. And which will let you into MyRotaryorg, but not necessarily put the data together. Okay. And so that creates another problem too. So when we try to sync from Club Runner down up to RI, it won't go there. Okay. And club secretaries will get a message from RI saying that your club member has changed its email address. Now, when you change your email address on Club Runner, okay, you can change it here on Club Runner, and you can go to myrotary.org and change your own, but you can't change somebody else's. RI is very clear about that. They feel that because that's the login, they want that member to contact RI and tell them this is what it is. How they know that it's you, I don't really know, because you're going to be calling in or emailing in, but they still want to hear from you. Okay. And that's the difficult part. So let's just take a moment, and I'm going to stop share. I'm going to go into my.rotary.org right now. Okay. And demonstrate that for you. Okay. So this is, let me come back and share my screen. All right, so this is my.rotary.org, okay, which again, I think that many of you have been there. Okay, so I'm going to enter my email address. And my password, sign in. It always takes a little while. Okay, or is my internet going to go? No. Okay, so you know you're logged in because your name starts to appear up here. Okay, but up here at the top here, when I pull down here, I'm going to have like my account settings, and there you can change your password for whatever you want. But my point is, if you can't get in here, okay, then what you can do is you can go all the way down to the bottom where it says contact us. Okay. That should allow you could go into contact us whether you're logged in or not. Okay. And so this will open up a menu which will populate and put in your name, and you can send a message to RI saying, I'm having problems, but I would save myself. I would just call these numbers. They're in Chicago. They're 2 hours ahead of us. So you can get up at 6 a.m. and they'll be there. Okay. And I have found better help by calling them. Okay. And telling. So this is something you can tell your member. I can get into MyRotaryorg. Okay. So you tell them to call these numbers. Okay. And if your member can give them some information like their name, their Rotary ID, okay, or anything about them. Okay. So you'll probably be routed to membership and they will help you fix it. And then your person can get in there. Okay. That's the easiest way. That's not something that I can help them with or that you can help them with, because once they have changed their email address, no one knows what they did, especially if they don't know what they did. But RI can go on the back end and say, well, this is the email address you're using. Okay. And so if your member comes back to you and says, okay, that's the email address I have for RI. And now what I want to do is I want to use that for Club Runner. Then if you use Club Runner, you can change that for them, okay, or just show them where to go and have them do it. Everybody can change their own account, okay? So it's better that they do it, in fact. Okay. All right, any questions on that? So back again to my slideshow here, okay? If you have problems logging into my.rotary.org, okay, and it's because of which email address they can't remember, okay, then don't mess with it. Just tell them to contact Rotary International. Even send them that contact page, okay, with the numbers, and I recommend the phone call, okay. And they can go back to where I went before to my account settings and they can reset their password, okay. That's pretty easy. All right, I'm going to move on to the next slide here. Okay. All right, I want to talk about the Learning Center. Okay, so I have also gotten calls from Gary Chow telling me people don't know where to go to the Learning Center. He is sending presidents-elect to the Learning Center, and I'm sending you as club secretaries to the Learning Center because there are some great courses to take. And the convenience is that they are online. So if you wake up at 3 in the morning, can't sleep, what should I do? Oh, how about going to the Learning Center and taking a course? Okay, so it's pretty easy. And then at the end of each course, you can download a certificate and save those. Okay, so this way later on, if I don't know, I don't think District Governor-elect Daniel will ask you for proof of this, but she might. Okay, you will have a certificate saying, see, I did it. Okay, so let me show you where that is. Okay, so I'm going to go here. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to go back to Rotary International. Okay, so this page here. Okay, I'm going to leave the contact here. Okay, so I'm already logged in. Okay, and you can see that it says here learning and reference. Okay. Another way to go here is to go to my.rotary.org/learn, as I showed you before. But I'm going to go here. Once you tap on this menu here, okay, then the choices show up. So I'm going to go to the Learning Center and click on that. Okay, there's this little login symbol here. That's this way you know you're going to the right place. Okay, it's still loading. It's still loading. Here we are. Okay, so let me move the little zoom here. Okay, and I have here all these different opportunities to learn. Okay, you probably want to go here to view club leadership. Okay, click on that. View. Come on, There we go. All right, so we have here club administration basis, club membership, club president, club public image, club Rotary, club secretary basics. Okay, it tells you right here. Can everybody see my screen? Never go. All right, 11 courses. It will take 4 hours and 15 minutes. Okay, but you don't have to sit through all 40 hours. So I'm going to go in here. Okay, it shows that I already took the course because I enrolled. I'm just going to show you what happened. So I'm going to go in there. Okay, and if you can see up here that I finished it, and I did the 4 hours and 15 minutes in 2 hours and 38 minutes. So how did Dora do that? Okay, what did she do? Skip everything? Okay, well, there are parts where if you do know this, okay, and you can quickly answer the question, you can move forward. Okay, you can move forward. So it doesn't necessarily take 4 hours and 15 minutes. Okay, and you should not cheat yourself either. Okay, so I just gave some electronic tests to my students who, these are 6 and 7-year-olds, and they figured out that, gee, to get through this test, Mrs. Dye, I'm just going to hit check, 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 and move through. Okay, and I had to make a reset and make them go back and slow down and do it right and actually read. But so don't cheat yourself and, you know, advance yourself that fast. But I'm saying it doesn't necessarily have to take 4 hours and 15 minutes, and you don't do it all in one sitting. Okay, so anyway, when you're done, okay, you get a certificate. So I just downloaded my certificate, and let me see, I'm going to open the file. Now this is where it gets tricky. It's showing up on my screen. Do you see my certificate? Yes, no?
Yes. Yes.
You do? Okay, good. All right. So it has like a date and time. Okay. And, you know, there's your proof that you did it. Okay. That you can, so on. Okay. What you get for having this certificate, I don't know. I haven't gotten anything, but it's just nice. It's a nice pat on your back to say you did it. Okay. So let me stop share and go back to this. Okay. Are you seeing the courses again? Okay. Because I just switched windows. Okay. So I'm going back here. So there's lots of other courses. So it's not just the club secretary basics. It's okay. So I'm just going to go back to, usually I get all messed up here. I'm going to go back to my.rotary.org. So I'm going back there. All right. So that's what's on the Learning Center. Okay. Let me stop share, go back to my slideshow. All right. So that's the Learning Center. Let's go on to the next one. All right, club administration, where I like to spend quite a bit of time here. Okay, so managing and updating member data, managing and updating club data. Okay, your finances. Okay, not your actual numbers, but we'll see what's there in a minute. Okay, Rotaract, Interact, and some forms. Okay, those are all things that we can find there. So I'm going to go here. Now I'm going to share my screen and go back to, where is it? Oh, here we go. Okay, so this, we're in my Rotary. Okay, so if I go here, I'm going to go to, let's see, home, manage. Okay, it's under manage. Okay, and you'll see on the left there, club and district administration. Okay. Because I'm the district secretary, I do have district administration, but you might not. Okay. So anyway, when you click on the tab, it requires a little maneuvering on your mouse. Okay, club and district administration. You'll see one that says club administration right there. And I'm going to click on that. Okay. All right, lots of stuff here. All right, club administration. Okay, so it asks me what I want to do. So like, for example, I can't find our club invoice. I can get another copy of it here. I have never played with any of the others here. I don't think I would want to edit my invoice preferences, like who gets a copy of it. Okay, but that kind of information. Okay, so the club invoice part I leave to my treasurer. I don't really go and mess with that. Okay, but updating data. Okay, so we're going to go into each of these in a minute and take a look at this. Okay, but let's say I want to add and edit. So some of the things, I went into my club's data yesterday and on purpose left some blanks solely for this training. Okay. So I'm going to start with the adding and editing and removing officers. Okay. So this year we had a role where a person had to step down because of personal reasons, and we had to replace them. So this is what I see on my screen. When I click on update, you see that every club in this district shows up here because I'm the district secretary. Okay. David, what do you see when you log in?
Hold on, I'll take a quick look here and tell you.
Okay.
Okay, when I log in, I see. You want me to look under?
Club administration and then update. Can you update? Can you want to share your screen?
Sure, I can share this.
Okay.
Okay, screen sharing needs to be enabled.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, now.
All right, so this is what I see.
Okay, so update member data. So he cannot update club data. You can only update yourself.
Right.
Okay. Thanks, David. Can you stop share?
Yeah. One other thing I might mention here is you notice I have some purple stars. That means I've highlighted these so they become part of my quick links. So I on my home page, if you want to go to this page without the going to the pull down menus, you can use that process.
Wait, scroll down. Why do you have, scroll down again where you were? Oh no, you left it on your quick links because you have update member data. Is it yourself?
On the quick links?
Yeah. Keep going down.
Yeah.
It says add or edit remove. So you have that too. Oh, is that for Rotary? It's only for Rotary. You have that role because you're.
Well, no, it's, yeah. There are Interact and Rotaract. I have several.
No, but I wanted to make sure you didn't have add or edit member data. Club member, you don't.
No.
No, okay. Thank you. Stacy Poole, are you out there?
I am.
Okay. You're my incoming secretary. And, I was wondering if you could log in. I want to know what yours looks like now because you're up and coming and I'd already named you as the upcoming secretary. Do you know how to log into MyRotaryorg?
Yeah, I'm already there, I think. Hold on, let me share my
Okay.
screen.
Okay.
You see my screen?
Not yet. You hit share screen and pick that.
You need to give me permission to share my screen.
I don't think I took that. No, it's enabled right now. Is there anybody else out there in whose role is going to be the new club secretary in July?
I can share, I think.
Yeah, and is currently not. You're currently not the club secretary?
No, I start the new
July.
Mhm.
Okay, and has your club already named you as the club secretary on here? Well, we'll find out.
Oh, I don't
Go
know.
ahead.
But, I'm pretty sure I should be. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and share your screen then. Maybe Stacy will figure it out in a minute, but right now.
Okay. Let me see here. Yep. All right.
Okay, so this is LaShonda. So you're going to go to manage. Okay, oh, wait,
Oh,
you're already there. Okay, go down. Okay, so she has it. Okay, she already has this information. Okay, so that's good. Okay, so she can do what I'm going to do in a minute. Okay, all right, thank you.
Okay.
That's what I wanted to find out because you saw that David, who is not a club secretary or a district secretary, had no such role. He can only manage his own data. So you telling your members to go there will be of no help unless they're doing it for themselves, which they should do. Okay, they can do it for themselves. Okay, but if you're the club secretary, you can help others. And this should be the same role that I believe that a president-elect and president should have as well. Okay. Although they're going to defer this to you. Okay, so I'm going to go back to sharing my screen again. So where's that? Okay, so I'm going to go here. Okay, so you don't have all this stuff that I have. So I'm just going to pick my club here at the top. Okay, so now I have the same view that those of you who have here. Okay, so I picked here managing club officers. So you see that I have here our club public image chair was unassigned. Okay, and so you're going to click on this plus sign here, and it will be select member. Okay, so I could search by name. I'm just going to type in Brian. Lawn. Does it take me there? Search. Oh, search. Well, that's strange. He's definitely a member of our club. Lawn. There he is. Okay. So, and then I'm going to just hit select. And then set him as the club end start, set custom start date, set end date. That's it, and hit finish. Okay, so now I have somebody in each of my roles. Now, those of you who are incoming secretaries, more likely you are going to be going to the next year. Okay, so in the next year, okay, so you'll see here, we have the incoming board, and Stacy, who is my replacement, is already listed there. Okay, and our club service products chair. Okay, I omitted on purpose just to have this exercise again. I would go in here and type in a name of who that person is, hit search instead of going through my whole member list. Okay, and I'm looking for this one. Okay, so I'm going to hit select, okay, and finish. And then that's all done. Okay, pretty easy. I saw Nicholas raise his hand or something like that. Did you have a question, Nicholas?
Yes, Dora,
related
Nicholas
to this?
Nguyen with the Rotary Club of Marin Evening, President-elect nominee.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you and everyone, and happy Sunday. So quick question. So I assume then that the line of questioning that you're posing and to some of us here, I assume then that the MyRotary.org website is rights protected. So depending on what level of officer you are, then the website will automatically know how much rights to give you to go poking around the website. Is that correct?
That's correct. Okay, so if you are not named in those roles, you won't get these permissions. So it's not something that your district governor grants you or anybody else. So calling me or calling Danielle won't give those rights to you. You need to, but what we can do is give you that role, and then RI will turn those things on when the time approaches. Okay, so you'll see if you are outgoing on July 1st, by magic, you will lose those powers.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. So, so we just managed club officers just to show you, but it's the same process here. So I'm going to go back to club administration. Okay. And so I just showed you here how to manage a little bit of your membership data. The first thing you would do is probably update your officers. Okay. I encourage our members to update themselves here. Okay. But if they can't, you can. Okay. So if you need to remove someone, edit someone, add someone. Speaking of adding someone, let's talk about that. Okay. So if I want to add somebody who is a member of another Rotary Club, okay. Oh, assuming that, well, first of all, number one, that Rotary Club needs to terminate that person first. Okay. And then you can go to add. Okay. So like, for example, you could search somewhere here for, you can click add a member. Okay. And you can type in the name of a person. Okay. I don't know. Robert Stevenson. Okay. There's nobody by it, and just search. Okay. Is it searching? Search. This field's require. Oh, and if you know their email address, okay, they've given it to you, so you need to have that. Then you can find that person, you can know their Rotary ID, and so that they continue their Rotary membership, but just in another club. Okay, so I'm going to cancel. I don't have anybody. Yes, I want to leave. So I'm going to go back to my club. Okay, so, and I don't want to add any more members, so I'm going to go back to manage club administration again. Just show you what else is here. Okay. We're moving past the first hour. Do you guys need a break, or should I just go on? Go on. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Updating club data. Okay. We are going to be changing, our club's going to be changing our address for our meeting location. After the pandemic, the place where we were meeting did not reopen, so we found a new home. So we're going to update this information here, where if you ever change the time of your meeting from morning to night, okay, you would update it here. Okay. Manage membership leads. Okay, so last year I was told that what happens is that if there is somebody who's contacted RI and expressed an interest to your club, okay, RI will send that information to you. Okay. As the district secretary, I also get information sent to the district saying these people are interested in joining a Rotary Club in your district. And I let the membership chair in our district handle those. I don't respond to those people who are interested, but if they contact me and are interested in my club, I will forward that to our membership chair. All right, so Rotaract, if you have a Rotaract club, okay, you can update their information here. So a college student joins, leaves, they have new officers. Okay. you can do that. David, I don't think the Rotaractors can do this, right? So you have to do this for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And you, when you get into that, you have to enter, specific information like who the officers are and such.
Okay. And then if you sponsor a Rotaract club or an Interact club, this is where you update your information. Okay. I think this is just Rotaract, not Interact. Okay. But Interact, if you have a certification or you're going to sponsor them. Okay. If you're going to sponsor a satellite club or anything else here. Okay. This is your sponsorship. This is your giving area, club giving. Okay. We have a vice president of development and TRF chair in our club who goes here to deal with that. I never touch that. And then interesting, there's some form information here. Okay, so for example, somebody yesterday was asking about insurance, and you can access resources, but our insurance company, Arthur J. Gallagher, is not part of Rotary International or Club Runner or anything like that. So you have to contact them directly if you have information, but you can find information here. Okay. I don't know if any club in our district wants to merge with another club. There's information here. If you're going to change the name of your club, okay, which I don't think anybody will, okay, and so on. You can search the clubs and districts in the official directory. So there's an official directory here. Lots of good stuff. Any questions on club administration? All right, let me stop
Laura,
share.
where do you enter the names of the advisors for Interact?
Oh, okay, let me go back. Okay, so advisors for Interact. Okay, David, do you know that? Okay, it says here about sponsorship, but it doesn't ask for that.
No, there's a whole document that describes the process for updating information, and it requires you to go to Rotary Club Central, click on the Interact tab, which you're going to be going to Rotary Club Central
In a minute,
right?
yeah. Yeah. Okay,
there's a
so let me,
Okay, thank you.
okay, let me stop share. Okay, so let me go to the next step here, back to our slideshow. All right, so that's, so we just went through club administration. Okay, so now the next place we're going to go to is Rotary Club Central. Okay, this is the place where at this time, or maybe even earlier this year, okay, a lot of Gary and presidents-elect were coming to me. I have to enter my goals. Where do I go? Okay. Well, the first hurdle was they couldn't log into MyRotary. Okay. After they logged in, then it was such a journey to try to figure out where to go because there was no place on that menu that said goals, go here. Okay. It would be nice if it did, but it didn't do that. So it's a place called Rotary Club Central. Now, logically, I used to think, why isn't it under club administration? Isn't the goals supposed to be there? But it's not. So we're going to go and look here. We're going to look at the dashboard. We're going to look at the goals. We're going to look at the service activities and some other resources that are here. So let me stop share. I'm going to go back to MyRotary again. Okay. So I'm glad I split it up. Last year, I tried to do all of this in one sitting. Okay. And so if I go up here to, I'm just going to go to home. Okay. Get out of club administration. Okay. And there's an easy way to go to Rotary Club Central. Okay. One of the ways is if you use it frequently, it will appear down here. So let me see if my menu will load up. Okay. So it's right here. So here's my home page. Okay. And if I scroll down to the bottom here, where it says online tools, it'll say Rotary Club Central. And I go to the Learning Center. These are places that I visit frequently. And so they end up here, kind of like your, what do you call that, bookmarking. Okay. Or you can go up here, you can go to manage. And if you go to, let's see, home, exchange, take learning, manage, there. If I go to manage, okay, it's also here as well. I'll just click on it right now. And here's Rotary Club Central. This is what Rotary Club Central looks like. Okay, another one of those little login buzzards. All right, the first page is called the dashboard. Okay, you are the creator of some of this data, but not necessarily all the time. Okay, so this shows your membership trends for the past 5 years or so. Okay, so we're going up, we're going down. Okay, and this is as of July 1st of 2020. Okay, even if this year you lost members or you are adding members, this chart is not moving. Do not panic. It will move on July 1st, 2021 with the final number. Okay, so I guess it's not a system set up where it's just going to be an ongoing monitoring. But this chart, the gender trends, does move. So every time we add, so we currently do have 155 members. This adds up to 155. Okay. And this does move. Okay, so it shows you the breakdown of male and female. Okay. All right, this shows the age trends. Okay, so I'll give you a little hint here. Some people don't want to tell us their age. Okay, so we have members as young as age 7 in our club, and they are not. And we have a couple people who are over 100 years old. They are even, one person's even older than Rotary itself, which is not possible. But this is sort of, it gives you sort of an idea. Okay, so we can't make people tell us their real age. Okay, and then this is something that I've been doing with our community service chair. When he does a project, he tells me how many people have volunteered, how much money our club has put in. Okay, and so I'm going to show you where to go to plug in this information, and then these bars move up and down. Okay, where you see blanks here, there were 2 years before me that our club did not participate in doing this process, so there's nothing here. But this sort of gives you an idea, so we can compare ourselves to last year. Last year, before the pandemic, our club was out frequently, so the volunteer hours were up. Okay, and then this year, it looks like we're not doing anything. It's because a lot of things we did, we could only do virtually, and so they weren't in-person things, and so some people didn't participate. Okay, so that's the dashboard. How much money we're raising. This did show up here. All right, so here is the goal center. Okay, so I'm going to go to the goal center here. Okay, and this is where your president-elect wants to go. Okay. And so our current goals are, so it shows you up here, 2021, okay, what your goals are, okay, what you have achieved and what your goal was. Okay. And so as these are achieved, they will show up, okay, what you have done. Now, for your incoming presidents, they probably wanted to go to the following year. So you're going to go up here and you're going to click the following year. And there's a place where you're supposed to indicate these are the goals you want. We're not there yet. Actually, I saw this yesterday. Oh, I see. You click on all. You click on all here. Is it on all? It's on all. And then they select the goals that they want to accomplish for the following year. Okay. I see why it's not showing up. Our club already did it. Okay. But if you haven't done it, there would be a slightly different menu here. All right. Global view, a global summary. Okay. So sort of the big picture. These are more reports, internal. Service activities. Okay. So this is where I go here. And I would indicate, so the chart I just showed you earlier with the bars of our volunteer hours. Okay. So I would go in here and enter like, let's see. Where would I go here? have to deal with this Zoom screen here. Okay, number of projects, current projects, completed projects here. There's a place to go to hit enter a project. Projects entered, completed. Oh, I see. I'm
You're
in
in
the
the wrong year.
wrong year. Okay, there we go. Add new service project. So you click on add new service project, and then it asks you for the title, the summary, and then the dates and the hours, and then you save it, and then it will move that chart up. Okay. And if there are any projects, so a lot of times I'll go in here and I'll start inputting this information. So here's the charts, they're moving up. And the year isn't over, and I know we're going to do that one more time. So I save it, but I don't say that it's done. Okay, so it's not done. So I just have to remember to go back in here and put this information in. Okay, now I'm stuck trying to move the Zoom window out of the way. Okay, where is that? Let's see. I am having trouble with the Zoom window, which is stuck here. Let me stop share. And let me go back here and share my screen again. Okay, that Zoom window likes to stay there. I know, I'm gonna make it small and drag it over. No, that's not working either. Make it even smaller. Okay, that worked in allowing me to see. Okay, the other one I wanted to show you was resources. Okay, and so here are all the instructions on how to set a goal in Rotary Club Central, how to report progress, how to record service activities. So if I went too fast today, or you can't remember, or by the time you do this, you've completely forgotten all of this, okay, you can go to resources and you can read this. I actually like step-by-step guides because it has the image, it has the words. So you look on the guide, you look at your screen. If you're not there, you're in the wrong place, it'll take you there. All right, and there's a whole bunch of other resources as well. Okay, good place to go and get your other chairs familiar with that. All right, let me share my screen again. Okay, I'm gonna go back to the slideshow. Okay, so maybe I can, oh, I finally did it. Okay. All right, so next stop is the Rotary citation. Okay, and what I did was I put in here these instructions that you can read on how to complete your Rotary citation. Basically, they made it easier this year compared to the presidential citation last year, which is that of the 25 goals that your current president selected, if you have achieved 13 of them, you qualify for the Rotary citation. It's an award given by the current RI president to the clubs who achieved that. So you get this nice little certificate that's to your club. And so I'm gonna stop share. I think if I'm right, that is it. Oh, I have one more slide. Okay, one more slide. Share screen. All right. We have to stay current on what we're learning here. It's not something that, like I said, not just all this morning, but something that's an ongoing thing, going to the learning center, going to learning from others, going to other trainings, using the material. That's how you're going to learn. Okay. And if you fail, okay, if you have a problem, contact RI. Okay. Contact me, contact other resources. So staying current here, explore the RI website. Don't be scared of it. And get used to it. Look at the tools. Look at the training, look at the videos. Okay, a lot of those learning centers trainings have little videos. Okay, Look at the brand central. Okay. Go to the district website. Okay. Um, um, I understand that our district is moving forward. So last year we changed the district website. We acquired Club Runner. Okay. And this year, uh, District Governor nominee designate, Lainey Hendricks, is our PR chair. And she's gathered together a pretty impressive team, and you're going to see some changes on the district website, and in a good way. So I spoke to one of those people yesterday who is a member of my club, and he told me of some of the plans, and I'm going to be part of that as well. So it's going to be very exciting. So, but right now, what you want to make sure of is you want to look up district news and look up district events. So the events calendar is a place to go. And next week, when we go into Club Runner, I will share with you how you could share some of your club events with the district, but with the caveat, it has to be approved by the district governor. So don't just post them there, but tell her or ask for permission, or ask her or her chief of staff before you do that. All right, with that, oh, I keep telling, with that, thank you. And this is my email address. I check my email all the time. That's the best way to reach me. Okay. Is there anything else? Okay, Q&A. Okay, now I can say I'm done. Are there questions? Tice, any questions?
No, no one has put, I asked for questions in chat, and Keith was having a challenge with the Club Runner website, but I imagine that's just a user login challenge. I had a similar challenge, Keith, by the way, on my app. I tried to do it on my phone, but it worked on the website better. And so I don't know why one would be more efficient than the other. Might be user error, but do the password recovery. You probably have an account already. There you go. I don't know the foreign country one, Keith. Yeah, your VPN is spoofing the system is probably the problem.
Okay, so next week we're going to cover Club Runner. Okay, and I have the Club Runner app too, but we're going to talk about the Club Runner on the screen. Okay, so was that useful? Was that information useful? I'd like some feedback too. Okay, did that help you? Do you think that this year going forward, you know, that some of the hurdles that we've had in the past will be less so? Okay, now that you know where everything is. Okay, again, this is just to familiarize yourself. I will send this slideshow to everybody who is here today. Okay, but again, it's just an outline of what we talked about. But you know, if that's enough to prompt you to remember to where to go, that's all that I need to know.
Dora, I posted in the chat the link on how to update Interact information. And, you know, and that's under that Club Central. You can go to reports and actually see what they have listed as the information for any Interact or Rotaract club that you sponsor.
Okay. Gary, was there anything that maybe I missed that you've encountered from that because people have struggled with MyRotary?
No, you actually hit all the issues at hand. Thank you.
Okay. Danielle, anything?
No, actually, Dora, this was great. And I think that when you were asking also about or talking about possibly doing other sessions throughout the year, I think that would be ideal, especially because as we have people on board at different times and just making sure that everyone is up to date in this information. I would love for us to do that. So thank you for offering to do that as well. I think this was great. This was excellent. So thank you.
Also, the fact that you recorded this is great. So we encourage all the participants on the call to send that link to other people in the club that might need it.
Okay.
Excellent.
So I'm going to show my lack of knowledge. I joined the San Mateo Sunrise Club right as the pandemic was locking us all down. So we've not had a normal year. How much of that information about my club and my goals that have been in there can I see as a president-elect nominee? Is it almost all open to me? You know, the dashboard and some of the other pieces in Rotary Club Central and some of the information that you showed that I presume is only available to secretaries, but I feel I have it, you know, a little over a year to get up to speed, but I really don't know the intricacies of my club right now.
Well, do you want to share your screen and go in there? And so we can
I really don't have time this morning. I have a memorial service coming up and another activity. So I can just explore and see what it gets me.
Yes, I would imagine that you should have that if you're the president-elect.
No, the next year nominee.
So, so is there anybody else who is a president-elect nominee who can get in there real quickly and we can see your screen? Because I'm not.
So Dora, she should be able to see her club. Like anybody in a club should be able to see their goals and all of that for your club as a member. So you'll have that access. But until you're a president-elect, you won't have the additional access that you would have as a secretary. But once you are listed as a president-elect starting July 1st, which will be this year, because you're a nominee right now, correct?
For the next year, 2022, 23.
So you'll
starting
be
a year from July in 2022.
you'll be a president, right?
Yes.
Yes. So once your club puts you in as your president-elect, so you'll be the president-elect starting July 1st. She's with you, right, Gary?
Right, right.
Yeah. So then you should get access at that point. Well, actually, I think it's January, but I think our CDS reps told us it can be as soon as you're inputted into the system, you'll have a different access. But as a club member, anybody can see your club, how your club is doing as far as goals and all of that. You should be able to see as a club member.
Okay. But
And
no.
to add on to Danielle, you should be able to see it all. You probably won't be able to edit it all though, for sure.
Gotcha.
You will be very limited in what you can edit until about a year out, for sure. Right.
Thank you.
Hello, Dora. This is Herb Dang, Bayview Rotary. You guys hear me?
Yes, I do.
I'm the current secretary. I've been secretary for a while, even though I was president and stood in for Toye part of the time. But one of the things that's really helpful as president, as you get going, that first series, probably about 2 months in the president's meetings where we meet outside, I'm going to make one of those dumb suggestions that I hate meetings, but it would be great if like about the end of the first quarter, if the secretaries could like talk to each other again so we can sort of help each other. You know, the things that we come across once we try, you know, I've done the job forever since it was on paper. I remember having to batch stuff up and mail it. But for the people who are just starting, they will see this for the first time come July 1st, and their questions are going to be in July and August, not right now. I remember, you know, that I got stuck with the MyRunner, the international, and trying to get everything reconciled. My first year back in Rotary as secretary before I was president. And I had to ask lots of questions all over. It turned out once I started talking to other secretaries, I got most of my answers. So it might be a good thing like to do a check-in at the end of July or at the end of August so that we can all sort of visit and ask how things are going sort of like the president's meetings. They help as the presidents, but I think the secretaries could probably do the same thing, but not as frequently.
Yeah. Well, last year I was interested. So I have joined this group that's part of RI. It's called Club Secretaries. But it's all over the world. And some of the questions asked, I feel like aren't relevant. And so I would be interested in setting up some sort of communication group among club secretaries in our district so that you send out a message and somebody would say, like, just LaShonda, can somebody share a copy of their minutes with me? I don't like our format, and something like that. And so I don't know what communication tool we could use. We could form I don't know, a Facebook group or something like that, but it's, everybody has to buy into it and use it.
Yeah, that's the key to anything like that. It isn't useful unless we all do it.
Yeah. So that's my only hurdle. Everybody has to buy into it, and then we have to find something, and it should be something that people don't feel excluded. Like, oh, it's a place where we can talk about the district governor. Okay. And it's not one of those places. It's, it's strictly a professional place. So I belong, as an educator, I belong to groups like that. We're all interested in teaching language arts, for example. And so that's what we all have in common, but we're all from different schools. And so we share, I use this worksheet, I use that, I use this book. And that's what I like to see here too, but everybody has to do it. And I think I even asked last year and nobody jumped at that.
I think it would be great to do a check-in.
Yeah. Any other ideas? Okay. I'm gonna stop recording at this point.